We welcome you back, and we close out at the top. We welcome Texas A&M's head coach Mike Elko to the desk, and we will finish up with him. So much to talk to him about. And first, thanks for the time. I know this is a very busy day.
Yeah, we got a few things going on these days, but no, it's great to be here. It's great to kind of celebrate the end of this recruiting cycle and what is a really great group of kids that are coming in to be Aggies.
I don't know if coaches get a lot of sighs of relief in your job, but when you complete a class on a day like this, does that afford you maybe one of them for a brief moment?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's, I would just say there's a moment of joy. I think, you come in today expecting a certain amount of signings to come in. When that last one comes in and things have gone the way you expected them to go, there's an exhale of joy that's like, okay, we put a bow on this thing, we finished this thing the way we wanted it to, and then you quickly turn your attention to what comes next. But you certainly get that moment where you really like to celebrate what happened today.
Yeah, and speaking of celebrating your people in the Bright Slocum building, two of them stopped by earlier today, Kiana Jasper, Derek Miller, and then there's so many that are involved in the process just to get you to a day like this.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think when you think about what recruiting is, what it's always been, but even more now today, we're trying to recruit everywhere in the state of Texas. We're trying to recruit at a national level as well. The amount of people that play a role in this thing is incredible. And so, Derek as the general manager who kind of oversees the scouting and seeing kids and the NIL part of this equation, and Kiana and her team who kind of oversee the hosting and getting kids on campus and connecting with families and making sure they feel welcome. It's a huge endeavor, and it's a huge part of why we have the success that we do recruiting.
Yeah, you said something there, national. Man, it really is. California, Utah, obviously you're going to hit the state of Texas really hard. You go over to the east, Florida, Georgia, your old home state of New Jersey, Ohio. I mean, it is so national now, and the organization of it all, it has to be incredible.
Yeah, for sure, and it's a logistical approach to how we go out and identify the right kids, how you then go out and visit them and evaluate them, and then how you get them to campus and recruit them and get them comfortable that this is the place they want to call home. And so, the further you go, the more it takes to get it done the right way. But I just think, we have to get what we believe is the best in the state of Texas. There's no doubt about that. That will never change. But I think you see this across the country now that recruiting has really expanded regions. I think NIL plays a role in that, and I think obviously the visibility of the Texas A&M football brand has elevated to a point where we can have conversations with a lot of kids in a lot of different areas of this country right now.
And when you look at these 2026 Aggies, this signing class that comes in, you hear the term needs at times thrown around in recruiting. Did you identify some of those with 2026? Did you feel good about how you hit them in this class?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that you're trying to do is create balance in recruiting over a 2-year cycle. And so, for example, I think last year we were D-tackle heavy in what we signed on the defensive line. I think this year we were D-end heavy. Last year we were interior offensive line heavy. This year we got a couple tackles and only one interior offensive lineman. And I think the way you look at it from a youth and a development standpoint in your program is you're kind of trying to take a 2-year snapshot to make sure that you have the pieces and the components you need developing in your program at all times. And so I don't know that you necessarily look at it as, we've got an immediate need because Trey Zune is no longer starting on the offensive line, but I do think there's it's a very collaborated attack to say, okay, this is the youth, this is what we're developing. We got to make sure we're developing enough people at every position across the board so that the future Aggies are ready to go when their time is needed.
Mm-hmm. And if you hit some of the parts of this class, I think you always got to ask about the quarterback in Corner Canyon, Utah, where he's just coming off back-to-back state championships. How do you feel about Helaman Kasuga coming in to be an Aggie?
Yeah, I think it starts with winning. I think the first thing that probably catches your eye about him is IMG Academy goes out to Corner Canyon, Utah, and loses. And that's our quarterback leading the way in that game. And so you've got a kid that's extremely competitive, has won an awful lot of high school football games, which matters. Very accurate passer, came out here, committed to us very early in the process, stayed true to his commitment all the way through, never wavered. wavered, was a rock for this class, comes from a phenomenal family, and is kind of, when you talk about wanting that at the quarterback position, I think it's really, really important that's where it starts.
And then I think here at A&M, you've created an explosive play offense. If you think about what Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver and those guys have done this year. And then when you add this group of receivers, Aaron Gregory, Madden Williams, Mike Brown, and Jaden Warren, are they the guys to continue hitting the big ones for that Aggie offense?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you see a couple of things. I think, height was something we wanted to balance. Last year, we're really excited with Kelshawn Johnson and TK Norman and Jerome Miles, but it's two little guys, one big. I think in this class, we got a few more big guys that can play on the outside. Speed is something that continues to be really important. Jaden Warren's got elite track speed. He's a 100-meter kid. And then just the ability to run routes and catch the ball consistently. And so you look at Mike Brown and Madden Williams, and they're extremely competitive wide receivers who make a lot of challenging catches and have phenomenal hands. And so it's a really, really strong group.
Yeah, and it's the SEC. Can't win unless you have that good defensive line, and you really had an excellent one this year with what they did. And then I asked about those receivers being a continuation of what some guys did this year. Well, then you think of Tristan Givens, Jermaine Kinsler, Samu Mawala, and Bryce Perry Wright, really talented. Are they continuations of what was so good about your defensive line?
Yeah, and again, I think if you put it all together, because that's the bow I like to put together, and so you look at, DJ Sanders, Landon Rink, and Chase Sims, who are sitting in our program right now developing, and now you add Jermaine Kinsler to that group on the inside, and then you add on the outside elite twitch rushers in Tristan Givens and Samu Mawala, and then a big physical twitchy edge in Bryce Perry Wright, who was as coveted as anybody in the country at that position. I just think you're adding the combination of a two deep on the defensive line that is going to be elite in the future for the Aggies.
And then I just think of recruiting today and how it's probably so much different than when you were doing this 10 years ago. We use different terms these days. Obviously, NIL, there's transfer portal now. You hear the term rev share. What is it that is discussed, the give and take with recruits today, that would be different than when you were maybe sitting in the living room or your office talking to a recruit 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, so much. I mean, it's a completely different landscape, obviously. I still at the heart of it believe this, though. I still at the heart of it believe relationships matter. I think that we're trying to run a program where we're bringing people into this program who want to be part of this program and want to develop in this program and want to be really successful for Texas A&M football and care about the people in the building. But there's some other components that go into it for sure. And so when you start talking NIL and rev share, I mean, those things are, I don't know that any coach 10 years ago would have thought that would be the landscape, but it is. And so it's great for the players. It's great that they're getting their cut of the pie and a piece of this thing. And, again, I'll make my standard pitch. It'd be nice if we had some standardization of rules, but, aside from that, I think everything's moving well.
But I think that's the thing with you and your staff. It feels like you guys, even in today's world, make sure it's not transactional. You have a plan for that player. They accept your plan, and it's a coming together of people for a common goal, regardless of what the world looks like.
No, and I think that's an organizational philosophy. It's how we want to do it with coaches. It's how we want to do it with people in the building. It's certainly how we want to do it with acquiring talent in the building. You want people that are in this together. You don't want hired mercenaries. Hired mercenaries don't make a great culture, don't make a great environment. And I think every aspect of the program, I think we try to function like that. And so there's obviously value that comes from money, and you need to provide people the value that they need to feel like you appreciate them and you appreciate who they are and what they do for this program. But there's a difference and there's a fine line, and we try to walk it the right way.
Mm-hmm. We've mentioned this to a lot of coaches, so we certainly need to get your take on it. This show and a lot of the talk today looks to the future. But there's an immediate future for the 2025 Aggies. You're going to play in the college football playoff. We know that. And the final assignment, all that comes Sunday when the field of 12 is selected, so we'll know more then. But we know you're going to be in it.
Yep.
Just the excitement to send a team to the college football playoff in your second year, and maybe your assessment of where your guys stand as now you head into that all-important run that you hope ends trying to go out and get a national title.
Yeah, we're where this program has always talked about being. We've wanted to be on that big stage. We've talked a lot since I got here in 2018 about getting a seat at that big table, and we've never been able to do it. And so to finally be able to accomplish it this year, and know that we've only done it in our second year, and we're still building, and we're still growing, and we still know the future is even brighter than the present, I think is a really special accomplishment. And then in terms of where we're at, we want to go win a national championship. I mean, I think that's been the attitude in our locker room all year. I think we've quietly been confident that that's something that we could achieve. Now we're going to get a chance to get into the big dance and go see what we can do. And so we're excited for a home game at Kyle. We're excited for the opportunity, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you've gotten there because, like you guys have said, it's always been a team that's been focused on the right things this year, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've tried to focus on playing winning football. We've tried to focus on playing together. I think we've tried to stay in the moment as best we could. And again, what that's led to is an 11-win regular season for the first time in a really long time around here. And so now we go on to the playoffs and have a chance to go see what we can get done.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch so far. We look forward to seeing more of it in that bracket, that 12-team bracket, and also going to be fun to watch these guys become Aggies, this 2026 class. We appreciate you and your staff for joining us today. It's been fun. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Appreciate it. It's a great day. It's a great day for Texas A&M football, and to all the people out there on signing day, enjoy the day. It's a special day for so many kids across the country.
All right. We'll see you in the playoff.
Yeah.
Get the assignment. We'll see you then.
Yeah, thanks, Will.